I'm sorry, I have to upgrade, so the sessions are ending. I'll make sure I upgrade next time. Okay, so we were here. Um, so what happened that the knowledge was get dissolved. So then it was spoken to Ikshvaku in Treta Yuga because he was the Rama's ancestor. So around between Satya Yuga and Treta Yuga it was spoken to Ikshvaku. But then from Treta Yuga to Dwapar Yuga it got dissolved. By the time Krishna came personally in this material world to play his pastime in the Dwapar Yuga, right? So so that time it was spoken again to Arjuna. So there he is saying, स एवायम मया तेद्या योग प्रक्त परंतप भक्तो सीमे सखा चेति रहस्यम ही एतद उत्तमम. So now he is saying to Arjuna that uh, that this knowledge is very ancient knowledge, and it is a very helpful and very like for all humankind. It's a very for the betterment of humankind. But because to whom he Krishna reveals this knowledge, to bhakta or the devotee, and sakha or the friend. Okay, so because Arjuna is his devotee and friend, that's why he is speaking this very conscious confidential knowledge to Arjuna, and this is the best of the knowledge. So rahasyam hi etad uttamam. So we will read the translation. Here the Lord informs Arjuna that this system of yoga, the Bhagavad Gita, was first spoken to Sun God, and the Sun God explained it to Manu, and Manu explained it to Ikshvaku. And in that way, by disciplic succession, one speaker after another, this yoga system has been coming down. But in the course of time, it has become lost. Consequently, the Lord has to speak it again, this time to Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. He tells Arjuna that he is relating this supreme secret to him because Arjuna is his devotee and his friend. The purport of this is that Bhagavad Gita is a treatise which is especially meant for the devotee of the Lord. There are three classes of transcendentalists, namely Gnani, Yogi, and Bhakta. So, in the spiritual world, there are three types of yogi: Gnani Yogi, then one is Dhyana Yogi, and the third one is devotee. So, Gnan Yogi, they think that Krishna is impersonal. It is a like Brahma Jyoti, in the form of Brahma Jyoti. They understand Krishna. Like the rays, effulgence emanating from Krishna, that itself is Krishna. So Krishna has no form. They think like that. Then Yogi is a meditator. Like sometimes we have seen the yogis, they meditate on themselves, on the Paramatma feature of the Bhagavan. Okay, so Paramatma means they think that everyone is Krishna, everyone is Bhagavan, not Krishna, everyone is God. So they treat everyone as God. Okay, and yogi and bhakta or devotee thinks that no, we are different, Krishna is different, and which is a fact. Like we all have Paramatma inside, we all have super soul inside, we all have Krishna residing in ourselves, but there is a separate Krishna existing. So although we might meditate on ourselves as oh I haven't shared the screen, sorry. I'll share the screen, sorry. So although we think that Okay, although we think that everyone has Paramatma feature inside the body, but still Bhagwan is separate than all of us. So this is Bhakta. So there are three type of realization. Okay, Gnani, Yogi, and Bhakta, or the Paramatmavadi and the Brahmavadi and the devotees. So in the Bhagavatam also there is a verse Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagwaneti Shabdyate. So ye like we can call Krishna in three forms, but the superior most is Bhakta, is or a devotee. Okay. Here the Lord clearly tells Arjuna that he is making him the first receiver of a new parampara disciplic succession, because the old succession was broken. It was the Lord's wish, therefore, to establish another parampara in the same line of thought that was coming down from the sun god to others. And it was his wish that his teaching be distributed anew by Arjuna. He wanted Arjuna to become the authority in understanding Bhagavad Gita. So we see that Bhagavad Gita is instructed to Arjuna, especially because Arjuna was a devotee of the Lord, a direct student of Krishna, and his intimate friend. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita is best understood by a person who has qualities similar to Arjuna's. That is to say, he must be a devotee in a direct relationship to the Lord. So it might be asked that who can understand the Bhagavad Gita the best? So a devotee or a friend of Krishna. So we have to be in a very close contact with Krishna. So how to do that? By chanting Krishna's name every day. He wanted, okay, therefore as soon as one becomes devotee of the Lord, he also has a direct relationship with the Lord. That is very elaborate subject matter, but briefly it can be stated that a devotee is in a relationship with Supreme Personality of Godhead in 5 different ways. So how can we serve Krishna? So one may be a devotee in a passive state, like the paraphernalia. If you go to the temple, then there is a book Bhagavad Gita. Then there is an altar for Krishna. Okay. Then there are some flowers for Krishna, or the conch shell, or the bell for Krishna, like for the artik. So these are called the devotees in passive state, who don't actually express, who cannot express themselves. Then active state, or the das state, like we all are servants of Krishna. So in the servitor mode. So when we serve Krishna, so that is called active state devotee. Then the superior to that is a friend state. Like some people believe Krishna as his friend, and so this is how a devotee can express himself to Krishna. So then if somebody has a Laddu Gopal or some like that, or some people might think Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda also has their sons. So they relate to Krishna in the parental way. So these are different modes in which we can serve Krishna. And the highest is conjugal lover. So one can be as a like treat Krishna as his lover, but this is a very higher state of relationship. So in Kali Yuga, it is best to be a das of Krishna, and even not das of Krishna, das of even devotee of the Krishna. So das of das, like servant of the servant, what we call it. So Arjuna was in a relationship with the Lord as a friend. Of course, there is a gulf of difference between the friendship and the friendship found in the material world. This is a transcendental friendship which cannot be had by everyone. Of course, everyone has a particular relationship with the Lord, and that relationship is evoked by perfection of devotional service. But in the present status of our life, not only have we forgotten the Supreme Lord, but we have forgotten our eternal relationship with the Lord. Every living entity out of many billions and trillions of living beings, has a particular relationship with Lord eternally. This is called Swarupa. So when we were all in the spiritual world, sometimes like once upon a time we might have got some thought of material enjoyment. That's why we have come to this material world. This is the main reason why we are here, why we are separated from Krishna. Actually we are part and parcel of Krishna. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, mame vansho jivaloke jivabhuta sanatana manasastani indriyani prakriti sthani karshate. So we are all, mame vansho means vansh ke hain hum log sabhi. So we are all part and parcels of Krishna, but and we are living inside the Krishna, inside Krishna. So whenever there is annihilation and the whole material world Krishna takes into himself, that time we all go inside Krishna from where we have come. But then some of the time we had this material like we had a sense that we want to enjoy separately from Krishna, independently from Krishna. So that's why we are here in this material world. That is only reason why we have come to here. But when we were with Krishna, we all had been given a separate roles. Like somebody would be serving Krishna in the form of a flower. Some of us would be serving Krishna in a form of garland maker, or somebody would be serving in the form of his cook. So or Radharani's helper. So we all have this Swarupa. Okay, so it is said in the spiritual world that Radharani and Krishna, Radharani serves Krishna, Radharani has Ashtasakhis, and Ashtasakhi has Manjaris. All the Ashtasakhi, eight Sakhis except and Radharani and this all eight Sakhis, Ashtasakhis, they have helpers, their own helpers, Manjaris, and under that helper even there are millions of servants. Okay, so we might be one of those millions of servants, okay, who might have got some time or some day, once upon a time we might have got some material thoughts, and that's why we have come here for our own enjoyment, and we wanted to have an independent life. And so usually this is the factor why we are here. Except Srila Prabhupada, these personalities are different. They are sent by Krishna for our betterment. So Srila Prabhupada we cannot keep in this category of our category. Like we have come for the enjoyment, and Srila Prabhupada also. So some personalities like Prabhupada's disciples like Radhanath Swami, Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, they are all very very elevated personalities, and they are messengers of Lord. So the Lord sends them by His will. So and we come to the to the material world because of our nature, and we wanted to be independent. So but before that, when we were with Krishna, we all had a Swarupa. We all had a particular form in which we were serving Krishna. So how we can reveal that? By remembering Krishna, by chanting Krishna, by trying to become pure devotee of Krishna. So that's how we can reveal our pure Swarupa to Krishna. By the process of devotional service, one can revive the Swarupa, and that stage is called Swarupa Siddhi, perfection of one's constitution position. So Arjuna was a devotee, and he was in touch with the Supreme Lord in friendship. How Arjuna accepted this Bhagavad Gita should be noted. His manner of acceptance is given in the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna vacha param brahma param dhama pavitram paramam bhavan purusham shashvatam divyam adi devam ajam vibhu. So here Arjuna is praising Krishna. Ahustvam rahasyam ahustvam saya sarve devashi naradas tatha asito devalo vyasa swayam cheva bharvishime sarvam etad ratam manye yanmam vadasi keshava nahi teta bhagavan vyaktim Vidurdeva na Danava. Arjuna said, "You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. You are the eternal, transcendental, original person, the unborn, the greatest." All the great sages such as Narada, Asita, Devala, Vyasa confirm this truth about you, and now you yourself are declaring it to me. So this is not told just by one person, two person. It is spoken by all the great sages: Brahma, Narada, Asita, Devala, Vyasa, Vyasdev. In Bhagavatam also, like Vyasadeva has already mentioned, that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. O Krishna, I totally accept as truth all that you have told me. Neither the demigods nor the demons, O Lord, can understand your personality. So, to understand Bhagavad Gita, this is the first and foremost requirement, that we have to understand Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Unless one understands that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and no other person or demigod is at the same level, he cannot understand Bhagavad Gita. So we have to first of all some noise. Can everyone mute? Okay, thank you. Okay, so we have to understand this, that Krishna is the only Supreme Personality of Godhead. So here further they will explain why Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, and throughout Bhagavad Gita, Krishna has spoken that he is Supreme Personality of Godhead. There are several, almost like hundreds of examples in Bhagavad Gita. After hearing Bhagavad Gita from Supreme Personality of Godhead, Arjuna accepted Krishna as Param Brahma, the Supreme Brahman. Every living being is Brahman, but the Supreme Living Being or the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the Supreme Brahman. So because we were all the part and parcels of Krishna, that's why we also can be called Brahman. Okay, so one is Brahma realization, one is Paramatma realization, and one is Bhagwan realization. So Brahman is the very source of our existence. So that's why we also can be called Brahman. But Krishna is Supreme Brahman, from where we have come. Param Dhama means he is the supreme rest or abode of everything. Pavitram means he is pure and untainted material contamination. Purusham means he is the supreme enjoyer, and Shashvatam means eternal. Divyam means transcendental. Adi Devam means the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Ajam means unborn, and Vibhu means the greatest. So this is what they have translated the above words. Okay, so I would recommend personally, after hearing this, you go through the same pages in Bhagavad Gita, and next time when you come, if you have any questions, you can certainly ask me. Okay, so here it is said that Krishna has a supreme abode. Okay, and he is a Supreme Personality of God. He is a personality, he is a Purush, he is an enjoyer. So who is the enjoyer? We are not the enjoyer, but Krishna is the enjoyer. Okay, so and his abode is uncontaminated, eternal, and unborn. Okay, so because he is unborn. Now one may think that because Krishna was the friend of Arjuna, Arjuna was telling him all this by the way of flattery. But Arjuna, just to drive out this kind of doubt from the minds of readers of Bhagavad Gita, substantiates these praises in the next verse, when he says that Krishna is accepted as Supreme Personality of Godhead not only by himself but by authorities like Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vyasa. These are the great personalities who distribute Vedic knowledge, as it is accepted by all acharyas. Therefore, Arjuna tells Krishna that he accepts whatever he says to be completely perfect. Sarvam etat ratam manye. Accept everything you say to be true. Okay. So when we are reading Bhagavad Gita, we have to read it in surrendership. Unless we are surrendered to Krishna, one cannot understand. Like big doctors, scientists, they fail to understand Bhagavad Gita. There are many purports of Bhagavad Gita available throughout the world, but still it remains like Bhagavad Gita as it is. This Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita is most famous Bhagavad Gita. Why? Because it is easy to understand, because it describes nothing other topic than Krishna, and people wants to understand more of the pure topic only. Not like if you are talking about Brahman realization or Paramatma realization, they are very difficult to understand topics. Like in Bhagavan realization, Krishna is described as just like us. He has 2 hands, 2 feet, he has a beautiful smile, and he is among his cowherds, men and gopis, and in Vrindavan. So it is very easy to understand if we take Krishna as a person rather than Krishna as a effulgence or Paramatma even inside us. So it is very difficult to understand otherwise. So unless one accepts Krishna as a supreme personality of Godhead, and whatever is said in Bhagavad Gita is truth, if Krishna says that surrender unto me and I will get you rid of all your sinful reactions, then we have to understand that. We cannot doubt. If we doubt it, we cannot follow Krishna. And then like we can read Bhagavad Gita, but it's just for reading. We are not actually following. So we have to believe what Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna also says that personality of the God of the Lord is very difficult to understand, and that he cannot be known even by the great demigods. This means that the Lord cannot even be known by personalities greater than human beings. So how can a human being understand the Lord Krishna without becoming his devotee? Therefore, Bhagavad Gita should be taken in the spirit of devotion. One should not think that he is equal to Krishna, nor should he think that Krishna is an ordinary personality or even a very great personality. Lord Shri Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. So according to the statement of Bhagavad Gita or a statement of Arjuna, the person who is trying to understand Bhagavad Gita, we should at least theoretically accept Shri Krishna as supreme personality of Godhead. And with that submissive spirit, we can understand Bhagavad Gita. Unless one reads Bhagavad Gita in a submissive spirit, it is very difficult to understand Bhagavad Gita, because it is a great mystery. Just what is Bhagavad Gita? The purpose of Bhagavad Gita is to deliver mankind from the naissance of material existence. Every man is in difficulty in so many ways, as Arjuna was in difficulty in having to fight the battle of Kurukshetra. Just like we saw last time that Arjuna was very perplexed and he was very depressed. So that's why he took shelter of Krishna, and that's how Bhagavad Gita came into picture. So we are also in the same way, same boat with like how Arjuna felt. And every day, every moment, we are in difficulty. So that's why we should take shelter of Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna surrendered unto Krishna, and consequently this Bhagavad Gita was spoken. Not only Arjuna, but every one of us full of anxieties because of material existence. Our very existence is in atmosphere of non-existence. Actually, we are not meant to be threatened by the non-existence. Our Okay. Our existence is eternal, but somehow or other we are put into asat. Asat refers to that of which does not exist. Out of so many human beings who are suffering, there are a few who are actually inquisitive about their position as to what they are. So there is a verse in Bhagavad Gita, Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhe yatatam api siddhanam kaschin mam vetti tatvatah. So there are thousands and millions of people. Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhe. And some of those people try to understand Krishna, try to understand Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so going to temple, trying to understand Bhagavad Gita, reading the book. So मनुष्याणां सहस्रेषु कश्चिद् यतति सिद्धये यततामपि सिद्धानां कश्चिन् मां वेत्ति तत्त्वतः. So out of this, like if you think that millions of people are interested, are going to temple, they are interested in Bhagavad Gita. Out of them, few people tried, they really focused in on Bhagavad Gita, and they are really trying to understand Krishna. And out of them, and out of these few people also, only still like few percentage, 1% or 2% people, they can only actually know the Krishna Tattva, like who Krishna is actually. So even Brahma says in the 10th canto of Bhagavatam that I cannot understand you. So there are Krishna has unlimited qualities, unlimited forms, and unlimited pastimes. So it's very difficult to understand Krishna. So that's why it is said that okay, out of so many human beings who are suffering, there are a few who are actually inquiring about their position, as to what they are and why they are put into a cold position, and so on. Unless one is awakened to this position of questioning his suffering, unless he realizes that he doesn't want suffering but rather want to make a solution to all suffering, then one is not to be considered a perfect human being. Human beings, when this sort of inquiry is awakened in one's mind, in Brahma Sutra, this inquiry is called Brahma Jignasa, Athato Brahma Jignasa. So there are four kinds of person: Arto, Jignasu, Artha-arthi, and Gnani. Four kind of people go to Krishna, try to understand Krishna. Okay, एक तो अर्तो means दुखी, who is in a miserable condition. Okay, अर्तो जिज्ञासु, अततो ब्रह्म जिज्ञासा. जिज्ञासु means inquisitive. Okay, अर्तो जिज्ञासु, अर्थार्थी, who wants wealth. Okay, and gnani means knowledgeable, who really wants to gain knowledge and who is already knowledgeable. Such kind of persons, such kind of four personalities, four type of people, they try to approach Krishna. Okay, and out of them, Krishna likes the knowledgeable persons most. Chaturvida bhajante mam जना सुकृतिनो अर्जुन अर्थो जिज्ञासु अर्थार्थी ज्ञानी च भरतर्षभ तेषां ज्ञानी नित्ययुक्ता एक भक्तिर्विशिष्यते प्रियो हि ज्ञानिनो अर्थ्यर्थम अहम सच मम प्रिय. So Krishna likes a knowledgeable person the most, but it like the seed is jignasa. So from inquisitiveness jnana comes, knowledge comes, right? Every activity of human being is to be considered a failure unless he inquires about the nature of absolute. Therefore, those who begin the question to why they are suffering and where they have come from, where they shall go after death, are proper students of understanding Bhagavad Gita. The sincere student should also have a firm respect for Supreme Personality of Godhead, such as a student was Arjuna. So in 5 minutes we will finish this class. Lord Krishna descends specially to re-establish the real purpose of life. When man forgets that purpose, even then, out of many human beings who awaken, there may be one who actually enters into spiritual spirit of understanding this position. But the Lord is very merciful upon living entities, especially human beings. To this end, he spoke the Bhagavad Gita, making his friend Arjuna his student. Being an associate of Lord Krishna, Arjuna was above all in ignorance. But Arjuna was put into ignorance on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, just to question Lord Krishna about the problems of life, so that Lord could explain them for benefit of future generation of human beings and chalk out the plan of life. Then man could act accordingly and perfect the mission of the human life. So somebody can think that Arjuna was such a devotee, then how he can get bewildered and how he could get perplexed. So here in Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada has given the answer that Arjuna was put into that condition so that Bhagavad Gita could come into picture. And at many places Arjuna has asked question for the betterment of all human race. So it is irrespective of any caste, religion or country. Everyone should read Bhagavad Gita. It is not a religion specific. If somebody says that Bhagavad Gita is Hindu scripture, then it's not like that. Bhagavad Gita is meant for the humankind. It is said by the Supreme Personality of Godhead for the betterment of every living being, the human beings especially, not living being. Animals cannot understand Bhagavad Gita, only humans can understand. The subject of Bhagavad Gita entails the comprehension of 5 basic truths. The first of all, the science of God is explained. Then the constitution position of living entities, jivas. There is Ishvara, which means the controller, and there are jivas, living entities who are controlled. The living entity says that he is not controlled but he is free, then he is insane. The living being is controlled by every respect, at least in this conditioned life. So in Bhagavad Gita, the subject matter deals with Ishvara, the supreme controller, jivas, the controlled living entities, prakriti, material nature, time, the duration of existence of whole universe or manifestation of material nature, and karma are also discussed. So there are 5 aspects of Bhagavad Gita: jiva, Ishvara, prakriti, kala, and karma. So these are the 5 aspects of Bhagavad Gita. You have to remember this, okay? The cosmic manifestation is full of different activities. All living entities are engaged in different activities. From Bhagavad Gita, we must learn that what God is, what living entities are, what prakriti is, what is cosmic manifestation, and how it is controlled by time, and what the activities of living entities are. So these are 5 basic topics which are discussed throughout Bhagavad Gita. So in the introduction part, we will learn a little bit of these 5 aspects, okay? So the meeting will end soon. So if anyone has any question, they can ask. I think something there in chat. Do you have screen share? Yeah, okay, sorry for that. It got cut in the middle, and then again I forgot to screen share, and I'll upgrade to the next level, the Zoom session, so you don't get trouble next time. Yeah, thank you so much. See you tomorrow at 7:30. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.